everybody, this is my review of The Last of Us, Episode 3. I was going to say Season 1, it is Season 1. Spoilers, if you haven't watched this episode, just I'm talking about the moments I liked. I am going to get some things out of the way right now. This deviates from the video game completely. It goes to a whole different dynamic, which was better. I'm not saying they should have put it in the game, this was good, alright? This story is a love story. Alright, no, the thing is, I'll just say from the video game, the difference. Bill and Frank, we get it that Bill says, oh yeah, Frank, he's my partner. And you're like, But me, I never thought, when I played it back in the day, I was like, oh, it's his partner. Okay, maybe, you know, his scavenging buddy, whatever. I didn't think it was gay lover. But the thing is, in the video game, Frank leaves him a note, a fuck you note, like, I hated your guts, and I hope you die, or something. Well, he tells him he gets bit, and you see it, he's bit all over. He hanged himself because he got bit. And that was it for their story. This was long. The thing is, I was expecting, you know, Dawn of the Dead. No, they gave me Brokeback Mountain. I will say this, spoilers. I want to talk about the moments I like, but I gotta say this right now. This is what Brokeback could have been. Alright? No, the thing is, if you've watched Brokeback Mountain before, you're like, homophobe! If you watched it, yes, they're in love. But the thing is, one's Wyoming, one's in Texas, they're both married. They have to hide it. And they can't be together. No, because remember the story about one of them said they had a guy that was shacked up. They always had, like, not revisions. They thought they were gay. And they ended up beating them and put him in an irrigation ditch. Remember Jack? We don't know. They said the tire blew out, but Ignis thought that he got beat up by the foreman and the dudes. This was different. They were actually able to be together. And so much happened in the story. That's why I have to go and talk about the moments. The thing is, I will say this. That story is good, but this one, I'm like, near the end, it became The Notebook. And I'll explain how. Well, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the drinks. Well, they didn't have a scene like The Notebook, but if you think about it, they did have that ending. Spoilers, they were together, but I'm going to go in more. So stay. Remember, I want to talk about the moments that I liked. So Ellie and Joel, they're looking for stuff. He has supplies. He has it digged in a hole. She sees an arcade cabinet of Mortal Kombat! Dun, dun, dun. Fight! Sub-Zero. Raiden. Johnny Cage. Sonya. Mortal Kombat! Dun, 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 dun. So she goes down into the basement. And she sees, not a full clicker, but she sees someone that's been fungified. I'll just say that, fungal. And he's like, but you see right there, like, ooh, you see all the layers of the fungus? It's not blood, and she kills it. But also at that point, I was like, he's not reacting to her like, No. Because the thing is, if you play the game, that's kind of like an Easter egg. No, because there is a level, spoilers, if you haven't played the game, there's a level where she has to do the mission to get through the fungus, because if not, Joel would have turned. If you haven't played the game, or you haven't got that far into the game. There is a version for the PS5. Wow, it sounds like I'm shilling for Sony. But no, the thing is, the game is good. But this show, now I'm going to get, because they're in this, I think, total, like what, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, Joel and Ellie. The whole episode is literally Frank and Bill. And that's a good thing. Bill, he is a survivalist. You see all the gun. I'm like, oh shoot. I know lots of friends that like that. I have a friend. I'm like, you have what? I'm like, no. Like, no. Don't tell me. I am not. I'm like, la. He has something he shouldn't be having. I'm like, come on, man, till the end of days. And then I told him, hey, bro, you still got that with it? Like, yeah. I'm like, no, but during, when the beginning of the pandemic, he's like, bro. Yeah, and then after I was like, screw that. He's one of those, like, take off the mask. The thing is, he did come out for supplies, but he did get it, but he got sick. But I'm not talking about the jab. I'm talking about he did get sick, the whole thing. After like I think like 4 months into it, he was like, "Man, this is nothing." But me, I was like, "Oh, whatever, whatever." But now back to the story. That's my friend. He's still one of those, I call him cautionists. But anyway, to the story. He is prepared. He has water. He has everything. No, because there was a scene where Ellie, they're walking to the thing, and Joel was like, "Oh, I don't want you to see it." Why not? Come on, there's open road. They see a lot of skulls, like right down in the dirt. And she's like, "What the hell?" And he tells her, they had, quarantine places, but when they didn't have enough room, they just killed them. Even though they were infected, well, the dead can't get infected. And then it flashbacks to Bill, to his humble abode. They have the clothing of a baby and a woman. And then it shows, I'm like, damn, these fuckers. They killed the baby and the mama. No, and then it goes to him where he's having a grand old time. Bill, I was like, damn. He's getting wines, he's getting supplies. I'm like, he's living his best life right now. And that's in 03. And then 4 years later, then we meet Frank. He falls into one of his traps. He's like, I can't give everyone a free meal, or I'll be like a Arby's. And I'm like, Arby's was a restaurant. I'm like, free? Arby's? Have you seen their prices now? Especially with inflation? True, I ain't going. I'm waiting until the times go down. Well, the prices go down. So he's like, Frank is like, I need to go to Boston. And then Bill's like, Boston's that way. Shoot. He's like, can I just stay for a day? And he's like, yeah. He lets him use the shower. He's like, this is great. I'm like, he's having a great time, Frank. And then they're eating. And then Frank's like, oh my God, you know your wine. He's like, I know I don't seem like the type. He's like, no, you do. I'm like, he's a connoisseur. Or a sommelier. But they're eating, they're having a good old time. And then he sees a piano. He's like, you know how much that's worth? Nothing now. I was like, wow. I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to be trading in the apocalypse right now. Like, oh, yeah. You see that cheeseburger you got? You want this piano? What am I going to do with it? So he sees a lot of things, and then he sees sheet music. I'm like, Linda Ronstadt? I'm like, wait a minute. Doesn't she have a song? Long time? I'm thinking about it, and then I'm like, because I'm doing that thinking at the moment, because I'll go later. I was like, oh, shoot. These guys are going old school. I haven't listened to one of her songs in forever. I think my mom's maybe a fan of her, but I'll ask her. He's playing the song. I was like, okay. And I'm like, he's playing it bad. And then he starts playing it, Frank. But when he sings it, I'm like, wow, there is pain, sorrow. I mean, yeah, he's been by himself for 4 years, but I don't think he's the type where he lets it affect him. He's just, like, in pain. And then Frank asks him, wow, she must have been some girl. Did he say I wasn't thinking of a girl? I was like, no. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh. I'm like, okay, this is different. No, in the game, the way they did it, one and done. Like 5 seconds, you find out they're a partner or whatever. You have to insinuate. But in this, I'm like, no. They're lovers. So they kiss, and then they go into the bedroom. Bow, shaka, bow, wow. And then Frank says, I'm not a whore. All right, if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to stay for a few more days. I'm like, damn, setting limitations. Just move in already, woman. Damn, he found himself a boyfriend, lover, whatever. I'll say boyfriend. No, and then another one. What is it? 3 years later? I'm like, they've been together. No, because in 2007, I'm already thinking about the repercussions. I'm like, gay marriage is not legal. I think they still have civil unions, but the thing is, don't ask, don't tell what's going on, and some other stuff. And I remember in the news, okay, would I call them woke then? No. The thing is, in the news, yeah, Didn't matter what you were, trans, gay, whatever, lesbian. People were getting killed. I mean, I wouldn't say it was super, but it was crazy times. But besides that, I'm getting 3 years later, they're arguing. He's like, oh my God, I need a change. I can't believe it. I'm with a man that thinks everything's a conspiracy, that thinks 9/11 was an inside job and that the government were Nazis. The government was Nazis. Now, Fedra. I was like, oh my God. That's oh, I have so many people. The thing is, I can't even say that because I'm afraid of it getting this video unplugged. No, the whole stuff about, homosexuality and all of that won't. But if I talk about that, what I just said that thing, and the other part, that might get flagged. Like, excuse me? You know what I mean? No, because you don't see a lot of videos about that. If there is, I don't know. It's probably on like a Rumble or something. It's just stuff like that. I can't even talk more about it. But I was just saying, I have, yeah. Okay, I'll just say to conspiracy theories, yes. I even have a friend that still thinks JFK is still alive. And of course about the jab, I'll just say that. Because if I say anything else, if I say with the V word, they're going to be like, oh, how dare he, the algorithm, you get what I mean? But I was like laughing when he said that part. I'm like, Bill is so funny. The government is run by Nazis. No, but Frank, he just wants a little change. He wants a little painting. He wants to fix the boutique. And I forgot where else he wanted to fix a couple stuff. The furniture store and stuff like that. And he wants friends. So another 3 years later come, and that's where we see Joel and Tess. I'm like, she's still on this show. I love you, Tess. No, but you see that they're like, oh my God, Frank and Tess are freaking buddies. They're friends. They're girlfriends. Like, oh yeah, let's take our wines inside, honey. I was like, oh no, but it was so cool. It was so funny. But a freaking Bill's like, I don't like you. Something like that. Like, I don't trust you, whatever. But he still has his gun right there. And then Joel is like, get that gun away from me. He's like, okay. But he tells him that he doesn't think his fence is going to, keep up. He thinks it's going to corrode in a year or two or something like that. And he was kind of right. No, and he did tell him this as a warning. And sooner or later, you will have raiders. So watch out. Because that's one, I don't know if it says 3 years or another one, but they do come at night. The raiders, they come. But the thing is, he stepped on the traps. Die! Oh my God. Bill, he is the MVP. He knew it. They were getting burnt. They were getting shot. It was crazy. He was shooting them with his rifle like, that's what I'm talking about. Conserve your property! Second Amendment, motherfuckers! No, from this point, I'm like, hell yeah. Shit, what's yours? Yours. You better protect the motherfucker. No, and then he gets hit. No, but the thing is, I was like, wait, he had to. They've been together at this point, I think, almost, 10 years? I'm like, he had to train him how to use a gun. Frank's right there. He has his gun, and then he puts him right there. He knocks him out. He's telling him, I have a whole list. Call Joel. Call Joel. And maybe he did. No, because there's another part where they were running. You see cars lined up on the fence. I think this is, I don't know if it's after or before. I might be getting them mixed up. But there's a part where he traded a gun for strawberries. I was like, wow. No, because you see right there, they're genuinely happy. All right, no, this is a good love story. All right, if this wins all the accolades and all the awards, let it. Because I couldn't believe it. It's so good. That's why I say this is completely different from Brokeback. It has the same kind of feel, but the thing is, we don't get that other backstory of what happened in 2003. It's just this. They're like living their lives, surviving. And I was like, that was good. I forgot what year was that because he did knock out. Yeah, he left the list. He had prepared. No, he survived. And then it goes to present day, 2023. Is in a wheelchair. His health is failing. He's frail. I don't know I'm thinking ALS because the way he said. But you can tell his days are numbered. Like maybe a year, maybe a couple. But yeah, he's definitely in pain. And I'm like, damn. This is a love story that turns tragic. Well, a full circle love story. Like and then you have the end where you lived your whole life with the person you love. Because it gets crazy. This so Frank, he says a thing where I've had bad days, and then I had good days, or I've had bad days with you, but I spent a lot of my good days with you. Oh, like, I'm like, bro, this whole thing was love, but this right here is like, when your love is about to go to the upper room, it's about to pass away, about to die. Oh shoot. What happened was he says this is gonna be his last day, and Bill's like, what? He has a list. He wants to eat. He wants to get married. I was like, oh. No, there's people that take that for granted today. I ain't talking about stuff like that. I'm talking about just in general. People take it for granted. Like, they'll get married for a couple hours, a day or two. But he wants to get married. He wants to eat. And then when he takes out the pills, he's like, I want this in my wine. I was like, hell no. No, because I'm like, I couldn't. No, like, there's been like 2 women I love, and I'm like, I couldn't do that to them. If we didn't last that long. One was the longest. I was like, no. Not even my family member asked me. I'm like, no. He's like, just do this for me. Just give me one last good day. And I'm like, dang. Seeing Bill in pain, you see Frank in pain. But Bill, like, oh, shoot, they love each other. This is where I'm like, this is not Brokeback anymore. It's turning into The Notebook. That is a good movie, too. If you haven't watched that, watch those ones. I'm not trying to... It's almost like, oh, you're pandering. Well, F off. That's a good love story, and that's a good love story. So, that's why, like, some people are like, why hard? I'm like, no, this is beyond genders. If you ever seen other... There's, like... When it comes to a good love story, it's a good love story. And this hits the heartstrings. Oh, I did not even expect this because this is a video game going into live action. And this 180 averted it. And I'm glad that they did. 10 out of 10 episode. But I'm going to go on... what's happened next? They do have their dinner. He did put the pills in his wine. Frank is drinking, and then he tells him, I'm too old. Bill put pills in it, or he put something. I don't know if he put pills or horse tranquilizer. He spiked his drink too. You can see he's mad, but he also can see the romantic in it. It's like, they both died. Together. There's another part, but this one is funny. The letter. So Ellie and Joel, they reach there. They see a bunch of supplies. They go into his bunker. And Ellie's like, I like this guy. She sees his ammunition and everything. She's in love with it. She sees Frank's gun. She puts it in her backpack. But the letter, talking about how they died. Don't open the door. I'm like, they're in their bedroom. They died. And then he said, I left the window open so it don't stink. I was like, what? Oh, PJ coming on. But there was a part where he says, I always thought you were an asshole, but I respected you. And then men like us are meant to be in this world to protect people that we love. And then there was a part where she's reading it. And then she stopped because he looked at the letter. It says Tess. I think they were together. Even the game, you got that feeling. And here, yeah, they were romantic. Oh, would I say that it was like one of those loves where, they were like, I think they were together. Because at that point, he's like, don't ask no questions about my history. You keep your history away. Because now they're going to go to Wyoming to look for Tommy. Because Tommy probably knows where she can go to the lab. And then the end of the episode, in the Ronstadt, I'm like, oh, wow, this has to be full circle. With the piano, and then they found that mixtape and put it in there. A long time. But, yeah, this episode was really good. Like 10 out of 10. I hope people are like, this pandering. No, go F yourselves. They weren't. This was good. There's nothing else I can say. Best episode of the series so far. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and take care.